Swiss ball, stir the pot. So this is an abs exercise that we perform on one of these big Swiss balls. So the setup, I'll show you a little bit closer so that you can see what's going on. The setup, I'm going to look to perform a standard plank on top of one of these balls. So I'm looking to place my forearms on the ball. I prefer not to do this. I prefer to have my hands kind of parallel here to kind of give me a little bit more ability to manipulate the ball. This, I kind of feel like I just feel a little bit restricted. So each to their own. I would prefer people not to clasp fingers. I would prefer to keep parallel forearms. So I'm basing up on the ball here. I'm going to show you from different angles in a second, but then I'm going to lift my hips up off the floor, lift my knees up off the floor, and I'm looking to create as much space here between me and the ball as I can. So I don't want to be down here, like doing my stir the pot down here. I want to be pressing as hard as I can into this ball and then performing my kind of stirring action in that position. It's a tough exercise. It's quite difficult to speak while you're up in that position because there's a lot going on here. A few things to watch out for. So discuss the arm setup. Look to try and have parallel arms. Look to try and press away from the ball as much as you can. Keep some space here in between the chest and the ball, so you don't want to be like collapsing, like I said. In terms of what's going on in the lower body, I want to lift my hips up off the floor. The wider your feet are, the more stable you are. So the more base you've got to be able to do your stir the pot from. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but the narrower I go with my feet, the much harder it is to stay up on the ball. Certainly as you start to get out to the kind of outside edges of the circle action, it's much harder to balance. So if you're struggling to stay up on the ball, try and widen your feet a little bit. Your knees want to be locked and you want to be squeezing your butt, your glutes the entire time. So the maneuver is much easier. You can't see from this camera angle, but if I relax my glutes, I can do this movement a lot simpler and a lot easier than if you can see I've just switched on my glutes there. And as soon as I do that, the movement becomes a lot more core based than if I don't squeeze my glutes. So yeah, look to squeeze your glutes, lock your knees, think about your distance of your feet. And then in terms of the circle action, if you're new to this, just really small controlled movements, and then as you get better you can start to kind of exaggerate the circle action, but yeah, even just the smallest of movements initially are challenging. So yeah, find something that you can perform smooth, controlled, work with that, and then as you get better and stronger, again you can start to either narrow the feet and keep the same size circles, or you can keep the feet where they are, kind of hip width, whatever, and then look to increase the size of the circles that you're trying to draw. On this exercise, do all of the circles in one direction and then stop and then go back the opposite direction. Unless it says otherwise in the description, sometimes I like to do it alternate, but on this occasion, unless it says otherwise, do them all in one direction and then all the reps in the opposite direction.